Okay, Minorcan Navy, here we go. Baltimore. These images come to us courtesy of Unified Command. We'll be heading back to Baltimore tomorrow and hopefully be able to bring you guys a couple lives from up there or around the ship. But we're going to start out over at Sparrows Point, where these pieces of the bridge that have been brought to shore are being processed. You can see these pieces have already been cut, but you don't think these pieces are heavy? Watch this. You're tilting an excavator up on its track like that. It's a little bit of weight. I know it's stretched out on the boom. This is heavy steel. Heavy steel that they're processing over here at Sparrows Point. And you think that there was half a mile of this bridge that was been picked up. Now, understand there's still some of it in the water. But what we do understand as of lately is that they're going to have the channel, the federal channel, completely cleared out in a couple days. We've already seen that shipping has resumed in Baltimore, so what is down there doesn't seem to be holding back a lot of the traffic that needs to enter and leave the port now. But in the next couple of days, Donjon is expecting to have all of the debris out of that channel area. So shipping will not be affected whatsoever. They'll have the full length of the original channel and the depth, probably even a little deeper, as we've seen the dredging that's been going on with the Dale Piat and also I believe the Oyster Bay. We've seen it working in there, but it's going to probably be a little bit deeper than it was before the incident. You see crews there up at the processing area in Sparrows Point with these torches. And it looks like they got that little air pack on the back of it. And hopefully that thing is pumping a little cool air up underneath that helmet while these guys are running these torches. It's got to be brutally hot as summer has begun to kick into high gear with high temperatures in Maryland. But not only are they using those torches, but they've got the shear machine back there working as well. It is chomping away where it can to help process that metal down in the smaller pieces as well. That's Edward Scissorhands' cousin that lives over on the shore. Now, we see the Chesapeake 1000. And immediately I look over and I see that green spreader bar, and that tells me that the Mighty Claw, Gus, is back in action. And for you guys that were wondering, and I know that we've had some people that were saying, how do they open and close the Claw? What a great image here of those hydraulic control lines coming back from the Chesapeake. They're supported by a couple lines there, and it also looks like they've got a couple guy lines that are coming off the Claw to kind of keep it from turning or twisting around. You kind of see those pieces there, and they come up, wire goes up, goes through a couple blocks, and then back down to the deck of the Chesapeake. You can see the Claw has got a nice sized chunk of debris that they're bringing up. And not only in the back, but you see one of the clamshells working. And then, look at that debris that's hanging there. So they're working on getting this. And more important than that, when we're going to see some aerial footage here from the Maryland State Aviation Department, their command unit, and you can look down in the barges when it flies over, and they've got some pretty good images of the debris that these teams from Donjon are collecting and getting swung over into those barges. all that's coming up here. So there is still some pieces of the bridge that is in the water. We know that, and the process of getting it out is going to be pretty much the same as we've seen before. They're going to keep working. They'll look at it sonar. They'll find these pieces and they'll get them up. The important thing here to understand is that the federal channel is just a day or two away from being completely opened up, finished. That part is done. And then they can start concentrating on the outside areas of the channel, getting that stuff cleaned up. Now, I did note, I saw that they're going to be having a Zoom meeting tomorrow evening. Hopefully we'll be able to see some of that. But the Maryland Transportation Authority is going to be discussing the new bridge and the process for submitting plans for it. So it sounds to me that no decision has been made on a new bridge. The process is just getting going, where they'll be accepting plans and looking at the future for the Francis Scott Key Bridge. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do and who will be the contractor that is awarded the construction of that new bridge. Don't have any idea what the new bridge is going to look like yet, whether the existing spans will be used. Now, we've heard a lot of discussion on the channel that there's no way that those spans will be used in new construction. They're 50 years old. Oh, we'll see. Here we see a couple images here. Now, the guy on the right, that's Paul Hankin with the Navy subsalve operation. And then this looks like the Army Corps of Engineers. And yeah, that's a star on that hat. So it looks like the incident commander was out there. She was out there, and then had a general there and a couple other high-ranking members from the Army Corps of Engineers out taking a look at what's been going on. Now on to some aerial shots from the collapse site. What a stance the Chesapeake 1000 makes right there. But you can see those barges that were down there. We're going to get some other images here of some of the collection that's gone on inside of those barges. Look down in there and look at that. That's the Dale Pyatt right there, that heavy duty clam shell dredge. You can see how that mud is drifting back off from the site on this outgoing tide. Definitely a lot of progress has been made in a very, very short period of time in Baltimore. I did see that on the Maryland Transit Authority that they're hoping to have the bridge back in place, back in operation by a date in 2028. So they're expecting this bridge to get built pretty doggone quick. It sounds like they're pushing for about a 4-year project time, which for a bridge this size sounds pretty ambitious. It'll be interesting to see what design they choose and how it's going to be constructed. Those cable stay suspension type bridges seem to be the best bang for the buck right now. We see a lot of those bridges being constructed, and they seem to get built relatively quickly. but work continues on. We're hoping to get up and get some aerial shots of the Dali when we get back into Baltimore, and hopefully do a live stream or two for you guys, and kind of bring you up to date with what's going on there. Well, hey, that's all we got. Thanks for watching. We're going to ask if you haven't done it yet, you'll click on that subscribe link. You'll leave us some comments. Give us a thumbs up. Of course, most of all, we want you guys to be safe out there.